Yes.
He's one of three?
We had two boys. We have two boys. Dustin and Casey, correct.
Is Casey older?
Casey's older, he's 35.
So Dustin is your baby?
Is my baby.
How old would Dustin was 18 when this happened?
Yeah.
July?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
July 10th, 2004. He went out for a typical 18 years old. They go out for a late night pizza run. They get hungry around 11 o'clock. They got into a vehicle, went to a pizza house, got back into the vehicle several hours later. He was seatbelted, he was sober, and chose to get into a car with somebody who was really impaired. And that car, unfortunately, went over a cliff and into a river. The two in the front got out. My son was trapped in the back seat and for 10 minutes just tried in vain to get out of that vehicle. And it's difficult. It's 2 in the morning, it's dark, it's murky, the car's upside down, you're disorientated. But I know that he probably knew what was happening, and he probably knew that he was going to die, and just tried feverishly to get out of that car. The other two didn't go down and get him, and I don't know why. They did get out of the vehicle. So when I get an invitation to something like this, and there's 100 or so male and female law enforcement that are coming out to do a crackdown, to do a strike force, as they call it, for DUI sobriety checkpoints, I want to be there. Because if one was available that night, down the road from where his crash happened, my son could possibly be here today.
Where you live in Connecticut, can you tell me what city that is?
Well, I live in Madison, Connecticut, but the crash was actually in Kent, Connecticut. So it's on Route 7. It's a beautiful, windy road up in the kind of a really outskirts of Connecticut, a gorgeous area, no street lights. They were not even 2 miles away from their home.
So there was never anything like this available? There was no strike force like this available? There
were sobriety checkpoints back then, but when you come up to some of the rural areas, probably not as many. But the fact that they're doing this and they're making a concerted effort to literally deputize 100 officers to go out there for the next 6 months, from July to December, is huge. It's dedication. They are going to have a partnership between law enforcement and also DREs, which are drug recognition experts, because we know that the majority of crashes that are out there involve something else. And in my son's case, there was alcohol and there was marijuana and there was an illicit drug in her system. So to get the two of them to partner together is huge. We don't often see that across the country, but this is something very special. And when they sign up for it, it's in their heart to do it. It's in their heart to save lives, and that's exactly what it is. Not only are they saving lives, the amount of people that are saved by catching one person is the ripple effect. You catch one person, you don't know, you have no idea how many lives it saves around it. So, very important.
Do you remember what it was like to hear that news in the morning when you were heard the police officer? Do you remember what it was like?
Yeah. When the knock came on the door, you automatically, I knew he was staying overnight. I knew he wasn't going to be home that night, but when that knock comes on the door early, we both kind of jumped out of bed, my husband and I, and said, I must have set the alarm off. Or my husband, I remember him saying, no, it's probably FedEx, they're coming to pick up a package. And then I went to the bedroom window and just pulled it aside, and all you see is the back hood of a police car. You know that it's not any of those things. And my husband went down first and was taking a very long time to turn around and come back to me. So I went down the hall and I saw the officer standing at the door, and the only thing that I said was, which one? Because we have two sons. And when he said Dustin, the only thing that I remember is dropping to my knees. It's not the norm. You don't bury your children. Your children are supposed to bury you. And when he did pass, it was to find out details, to know that he was alone and that the others in the car got out, and he did all the right things. He was seatbelted, he was sober, where the other ones weren't. It broke my heart to know that I wasn't there, that he was alone when he died, and I don't wish that on anybody. any parent or family or guardian that gets that news probably thinks the same thing,
Now,
that they're not there.
now, do you find that even though it's been about 12 years now, is that pain still there?
Same.
Still
The
but-
pain. The pain is. My job is to put faces behind all the statistics, because people, when they hear of statistics, that's all they hear are numbers. But what they don't hear is what it does to the family. You don't hear what it happens to the workplace where they work. They don't hear about the friends. Dustin had a very dear friend that became a police officer 2 years later in honor of Dustin. And for his first year after the academy, he got Rookie of the Year for most DUIs. And he had come to me and said, I did this for Dustin because I don't want any other family to go what you guys went through. So the pain's the same, not much different. You just have to kind of have it go a different direction, and that's where my passion at MADD came and started becoming a volunteer about a year later.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I just hope that people that are out there during the holidays, the 4th of Julys and the Labor Days and the Christmases and the Thanksgivings, or even if they're out in an evening where they know alcohol will be involved in their evening, to plan ahead, to plan to get a non-drinking designated driver there for them so they all get home safe and alive. If they don't have that designated driver, use Uber, use a taxi, use a bus, or stay where you are. This crime is 100% preventable. We're separating drinking from driving, and it's 100% preventable. We are not against drinking. We are against the person getting into that vehicle, making that choice to drive when he or she knows they're impaired. We're still losing 10,000 people a year, which is way too many.